The Road to Rediscovery is sponsored by BetterHelp. Let me ask you something. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? You know, for me growing up, feelings of anxiety, inadequacy, doubt, and even imposter syndrome got in the way of me reaching my goals and reaching my full potential, right? So, BetterHelp addresses these and more. It's not a crisis line and it's not self help, it's professional therapy done securely online. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't have to ever sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and get this, financial aid is even available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. They mean it. Visit betterhelp.com/road to rediscovery. That's better, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. And there's a special offer for our Road to Rediscovery listeners. Get 10% off your first month when you register at betterhelp.com/road to rediscovery. We're all on this journey of life together, and it sure feels good to know professional help is within our reach with BetterHelp. Again, that's better, H-E-L-P. Thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. Our lives are laid out on a road of bumps, turns, struggles, and more. How do we respond? How do we endure adversity for learning and growth? I'm Aubrey Johnson, and we'll explore these questions and more on the Road to Rediscovery. Good evening to all of you. I hope you can hear me clearly. It's been a while since I've been on. There have been, uh, several months that have passed by. I've listened to the playbacks on the last couple recordings that I've left, and it wasn't quite the quality I was expecting. So I went into my settings. I just realized I have a brand new iPad since the last time I recorded. So maybe that had something to do with it, where the settings weren't of quality settings. And I saw some of those that needed to be changed. So I went ahead and changed them. And hopefully you can hear me clearly, and hopefully the playback will be clear. Good evening, everyone. My name is Aubrey Johnson. I'm the creator and host of the Road to Rediscovery podcast. And I'm just glad to have a chance to get on here this evening and just, kind of randomly riff about just different things, particularly around the Sunday mindset. And I'm going to talk about what that means here in a minute. For those of you who aren't familiar with my podcast, my show is about reflecting on life lessons, on the lessons that life throws at us, the different events and encounters that we have, and not just reflecting on them to to realize what we done, but also to reflect so that we can learn from those lessons, so we can grow from those lessons. And of course, so that we can pay it forward and help other people who are struggling by teaching them what we have learned through our struggle, right? We want to uplift others in times of need by sharing with them learned lessons from our struggle, okay? I'm a big believer of that. I'm a big believer of reflecting on our life experiences. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this title, which is called The Sunday Mindset, here in a minute. But if you're not familiar with my podcast, it's called The Road to Rediscovery, and you can listen to it on just about any platform: Apple, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, Libsyn, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. The list goes on. I'm on all those areas, and I have interviewed amazing guests from all over the world who have had and share stories of overcoming insurmountable odds to not only survive but to thrive. And of course, they are now in a place where they are helping other people um, in transforming their lives. So I'm of the mindset that if each of us does a little part, just a little part, in helping someone else, exponentially, we can make this world a hell of a better place. There's so much going on in this world, and that's another conversation for another time. But we have the power, right? We have the power. We have the power within ourselves to reflect on our lessons, reflect on our experiences, learn and grow from them, and help other people going through those same problems that we've went through. And that's why I have my guests on my show, because I want my listeners to just hear the struggle and the tragedy and just the barriers and challenges that my guests have gone through, so they can realize, hey, if they've gone through it, I can do this. Okay, it's for inspiration. For inspiration. I can go on and on about it. I'm just very passionate about the show, not because it's my show, but because of the message and the intent behind it. And of course, my show wouldn't be a show if it weren't for two main things, right? Main elements. Number one, the listeners. And number two, the amazing guests who share their stories. I also have solo episodes where I share reflections of my own life experiences. So, you want more information, visit the road to rediscovery.com. That's road, the number two, rediscovery.com. And you can subscribe to an email list. You can look at some merchandise that I have up there. And you can also shoot me an email for any thoughts or suggestions, or if you want to share your story, come on the show. I'd love to have you. I really would. All right. So that's a brief description of who I am, what the show is, what it's about. And I'm still trying to navigate myself through this app called Wisdom and trying to look for ways to leverage it in such a way that can help build and enhance content, right? When it comes to online communities, no matter what platform you use, or if you use multiple platforms, it's all about community and content, right? So I'm just trying to find a way to enhance the content, all in the spirit of spreading the message of two main things that my show's about. Number one, you're not alone in your struggles, and number two, there is always hope. And those are the main messages I want to share with all my listeners. And those are the messages that my guests want to share with the listeners, regarding their circumstances. All right. So let's talk about this title here, the Sunday mindset. And I'm gonna preface this by apologizing in advance for two things. Number one, to me, this is we're among friends, right? And we shouldn't feel uptight about anything. I mean, I want a good quality sound for the playback because this is being recorded, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I don't have a script, so I'm not reading. So I may fumble my words. That's okay. And so I'm apologizing in advance because um, some people like to sip on a little something something as they're having these conversations. and I am one of those. And I happen to be, I don't know if you're familiar with the Truly hard seltzer drinks, but excuse me, I have one of those, and I don't know, they're delicious and they quench my thirst. And here in North Texas, it is pretty warm, and so this is a refreshing, very light hard seltzer. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, a light hard seltzer, but it is. I mean, it's light, it's fresh, and it cools you off. Okay, so I know it's 10:34 Central Standard Time here in North Texas, and so again, I wanted to apologize in advance for you might hear me crack open a can. All right, and the second thing I want to apologize in advance is for my dog who is in the living room. I'm in my home office slash studio. My dog, she is a beautiful Black Lab Great Dane mix. She's only 9 months old, and she's 85 pounds, and her name is Cora, Cora, Cora. And she's a great dog. I mean, a little hyper, but she's a great dog. And at this time of day, she's winding down. Okay, she's laying on her designated chair, laying down, sleeping. I have the TV on, but the volume down, and she hates. I know this comes as a surprise to you, but she absolutely hates doorbells. Okay, and no one's coming to my door ringing my doorbell at this hour. Okay, but I don't know if you've seen this stupid T-Mobile commercial where I guess in the background they're playing Billy Idol, Rebel Yell or something, and there's this family. They're in a house, and someone keeps ringing their doorbell, and they open the door. It's one family member. Then I don't know. 5 seconds later, they ring the doorbell again, and it just sets her off. So you might hear her in the background if that commercial comes on. That's really the only commercial where she kind of um, gets freaked out and just doesn't like that sound. But who does, right? I mean, all right. So those are the two things I wanted to apologize in advance for if they happen. I'm pretty sure at least one of them will. So now I want to talk about the title, The Sunday Mindset. All right, Aubrey, Sunday Mindset. What are you talking about here? Here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in society, right? Usually Monday starts the new work week, and we work Monday through Friday, and then there's Saturday and Sunday we have off, and then Monday starts the following work week. Now, I totally understand that is not the case in every occupation. There are people who work on weekends. There are people whose quote weekends are the middle of the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and they work Thursday through Monday. Okay. I totally get that. I understand that. This Sunday mindset I'm talking about is based on my reflections of just throughout my life. I've had crazy mindsets. They've ran the gamut in the spectrum of positive outlooks, negative outlooks, anxiety, all these types of things when it comes to a mindset to have on Sunday as we look forward to the new work week. For most, if not all of my career, my work week has been Monday through Friday. Again, I understand that is not the case for all occupations. I'm basically sharing with you based off um, my weekly schedule and structure for as long as I can remember. This is how it's been for me. My work week was Monday, has been Monday through Friday, and still is. Okay. So Sunday, when Sunday rolls around, I'm of the mindset, first off, weekends are never long enough. Okay. And I don't want to sound ungrateful. I don't want to sound, I don't know, like some spoon fed prima donna that's complaining about first world problems. Okay. I truly don't want to sound like this. I'm sharing this with you because I'm struggling and I would love your input or thoughts on this. I'm struggling with the type of mindset to have for the upcoming week. And I haven't always struggled. I've gone through chapters in my life where the outlook that I would have on a Sunday was a help. Okay, and I'll share all that with you here in a minute. I just want to let you know that I'm sharing this with you not to complain, first world problems. Oh, he has the weekend off, but he still complains about having to go back to work on Monday. No, I'm not complaining about it. But I'm just unhappy with my my volatile mindset of the upcoming work week when Sunday comes. Okay. Um, let's start here. I've always been of the mindset that the weekends have never been long enough, 2 days. And part of the reason why is because when I am off on Saturday and Sunday, I never really um, considered Sunday as a full day off. And the reason why is because Sunday around, oh, I guess I have to say 6 p.m. Sunday at 6 p.m., my mind is set towards the following week, towards that Monday, okay, the start of the new week. And I'm in work mode. I'm thinking about the meetings I have for the upcoming week. I'm thinking about any personal appointments, doctor visits, checkups, take my dog to the vet, any big meetings or any business travel that I need to do. I'm in work mode at 6 p.m. on Sunday. So to me, it's not a full Saturday and Sunday off. It's Saturday off and part of Sunday, right? Um, and it may be, it may be um, 18 hours, right? 18 hours on Sunday that I have off. So 24 and 18. Um, anyhow, that's always been my mindset. And throughout that mindset, I have gone through a myriad of up and down roller coaster like feelings of the upcoming week. For instance, during football season, which football is like that and boxing are my two favorite sports. But of course, for those of you who follow the NFL, football games are on Sunday. Most of them are on Sunday, right? And so to me, in the fall, Sundays are awesome. I mean, Saturdays are awesome. I'm watching college ball, and my son, he graduated from the University of Kentucky, and he played college ball. He just graduated this past December, so this fall is going to be my first year not watching him on Saturday, whether I was there in person or watching him on TV. So that's going to feel kind of funny this fall, but anyhow, I'm still going to watch on Saturday. But Sunday was, is the NFL. I'm watching the games, and so I don't even think about the anticipation of Monday. I don't think about that. I don't think about getting anxious or you know just dreading going to work on Monday in the fall because my mind is preoccupied with football. All right. Now, after the Super Bowl in February, um, and football or the NFL goes away for at least media wise until September of that following year. Then, of course, that leaves me with uh, really nothing to look forward to on Sunday other than a bunch of yard work. And, you know, living in North Texas, I mean, you got to have a smoker. So I smoke meat, and I think that I find that very enjoyable. Um, but that that leaves my mind kind of open to where I start thinking about, okay, this upcoming week, oh my gosh, what do I have to get done? Are there any conflicts in my meetings? I mean, I hate conflicts in meetings when when I have this time scheduled to do XYZ, and then someone comes in and throws another meeting that's in total conflict. I can't stand that. So I start anticipating for potential conflicts and thinking about how to handle them and get those sorted out. Um, and I know it sounds like I'm a bundle of nerves. I'm not a bundle of nerves. Again, it's just something I struggle with over the years. This topsy turvy, volatile mindset that I've had on Sundays. And I'm going to explain more using my reflection. Okay. Like I said before, I love football in the fall. Sundays, never a problem because I'm already preoccupied watching football and talking about it. And I'm in fantasy leagues, and my wife, she even loves football. So, it's all good. Okay. And then in the spring and the summer, then it starts to eat at me a little bit on Sundays because I don't have football. So I go about life, I'm doing things around the house, I'm doing yard work, running errands, and just trying to get things ready. And then 6 p.m. on Sunday hits, boom, I'm in work mode now. Okay. Sure, I'm not physically at work or working, but mentally I'm in work mode at 6 p.m. on Sunday, because I got to prepare. Right. And then I don't know, it gets me feeling kind of just kind of unfulfilled, for the weekend, and I don't want to be that way. I mean, I can have a fulfilling weekend and still deal with my work stuff at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Um, and I think there's a historical pattern to this, and the reason why I say this is because um, I'm an optimist. Okay, I'm a hopeless optimist, and I try to find the good and the silver lining in everything. To me, Sundays, the mindset that I want to have on Sundays and that I've had for quite some time, and then somehow I just lose it, is to have the mindset and the outlook of that next day, Monday, being a clean slate, right? A clean slate where it can be whatever you want it to be. Okay? I am of the thought, I subscribe to the notion and the thought that in this life, there are only two things that we can control: our attitude and our effort. And having the mindfulness to control those two can really, really have an impact on your outlook on life, for the better or for the worse. I'm a huge believer of that. And as a hopeless optimist, looking at Monday as that clean slate, which is an opportunity to achieve whatever you want, okay, to get closer to your dreams, to get closer to your goals. Anything you reflected on the previous week that you wish you would have done better, you can now apply it to the upcoming week. So, hopeless optimist. To me, that's the healthy Sunday mindset to have for the upcoming work week. So, I've had that for some time. And then there are times when Sunday comes at 6 p.m. I start to get in work mode and I start thinking, wow, it sure be nice if I were retired. Or it sure would be nice if I got an extra day off, right? Didn't go back to work or have to go back to work until Tuesday. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my job. I love the company I work for. I love the work I do. Okay. It's it's one of those things where leading up to the time that you start just kind of sometimes gets under my skin. And I hate the fact that I let it get under my skin. But once I'm there and I get started, it's okay. And I know this, and I don't freak out too much from it because I know, you know, when I start to get a little anxious because it's Sunday at 6 or 7 p.m. and I'm thinking about the work week already and blah blah blah, and I tell myself, Aubrey, just get over it, get a hold of yourself. You always think about this every Sunday. When Monday comes, once you're there and you get started, everything's fine. It's never as bad as you think it is. And every single time, that's true when the time comes. Monday, I come into work, I sit down, and it's not as bad, right? It's not as bad as I thought. I mean, sure, I had to get up, sure, I had to commute, and sure, I had to, apply my thinking. But once you're there, you're up and rolling. You're up and rolling. Okay. Uh, Again, that's a healthy outlook to have, and that's what I try to do. Um, the the times where I start thinking about or wishing for an extra day off or wishing that I was retired, I wish I didn't have those thoughts, if that makes sense. Okay. Um, because like I said, I do love my job. I love my work and I love the people I work with and I love the company I work for. Um, yeah. So I know I'm rambling, saying a bunch of stuff, that may or may not make sense. I'm going to give you another example. Okay. And I truly think this is how it started. Um, let's see. Years ago, when I was in my senior year of college, I took a job at a company where my work week was not Monday through Friday, but it was Sunday through Thursday. So my work week started on a Sunday. And when I first got that job, let's see, I was maybe 21, 22. I think I was 22. When I first got that job, I loved it. I thought the schedule was awesome because, well, I don't think I shared this with you, but Friday's my favorite day of the week. It always has been ever since I was a kid. Best day of the week at all. I mean, out of all, period. Friday. So to have a work week Sunday through Thursday and have your favorite day of the week off Friday, and then Saturday, um, well, Saturday to me was just off anyway, and I was. And Sunday, well, like I told you, I get into work mode at 6 p.m. on Sunday. I mean, what's the trouble in starting uh, work mode on Sunday a little earlier and just make it a work day? And so that's what I did, at that time, 22 years old, working Sunday through Thursday. And I thought it was cool. It was fun. Okay. I got to enjoy my Friday off while all my coworkers were working on Friday. But at the same time, while all my coworkers were off on Sunday morning, I had to get up Sunday morning and go into work. And and being 22 years old, you want to go out Saturday night and party. Well, can't do that too much if you have to be at work Sunday morning, right? So there's some give and take there, right? Take the good with the bad. And I did, okay. And I guess it started to eat at me a little bit more and more and more each week after week after week. Being happy about having Friday off, but man, dreading to get up Sunday morning to go to work, because all my coworkers, they partied hard Saturday night, and I couldn't because, well, I had to be up Sunday. I could party hard Thursday night, but with who? Because all my coworkers, they had to get up early Friday. You know, so it was interesting. It was interesting, and I think back with fond memories. I had good times. There were some times where I got conflicted within myself of those times. But like I said, take the good with the bad, right? That's what I did. So that happened in my early 20s, and then as I got older, in my late 20s and my early 30s, um, I I got married, became a father, and the job I had at the time, uh, I traveled extensively on business. And when I say extensively, I mean, my job was to be out of town on business for 5 straight weeks. And then I would come home and be with my family for a week. That would be my, like, time off, quote unquote. And after that week, I would fly to another place for 5 weeks and then come home and be home with the family for one week. Now, being home with the family that one week, that was very, very awesome, right? I didn't have to go to work at all that entire week. But when the end of that week would come and I had to fly out to another city and be there for 5 straight weeks, okay, over a month, and not see my family or my newborn son, that was hard to take. That was hard to take. And so, like I said, being off that week, that was from Sunday to Sunday. Well, actually, no, I take that back. That was from Friday, Friday night to um to the next Sunday. Okay. So when Sunday would come around, and my wife at the time, she would tell me, "Man, you get in the worst moods on Sundays." And I'm trying to figure out, why is she saying that? I don't think I get in a bad mood or anything. And then one day she pointed it out to me, why, or why she thought. She said, "I think you're getting into these bad moods on Sundays because it's the Sunday you have to fly out to go to some other town where you won't see us in over a month." And that was why. That was why. I got anxious and I got angry on those Sundays. Sure, I had a week off with my family, but guess what? Now I'm going to leave them and not see them for another 5 weeks. And for those of you who are parents, you know how quickly a child grows in 5 weeks. When they're a newborn, they become a toddler. And in those 5 weeks, you can miss out on their first steps. You can miss out on their first words. I mean, all sorts of stuff, you know? And that was hard for me. That was hard for me. And that 5 weeks on, one week off, that rotation I told you about, I did that for 7 straight years. 7 straight years, 5 weeks working out of town, 1 week at home off. The 5 weeks that I was out of town included the weekends. All right. That wasn't easy to take. And it was tough on me. It was tough on my family. And sadly, it led to the divorce of my first wife and I. Um, and what made it even more sad is that um, I I asked my boss for another job within our company where I wouldn't have to travel, so I can stay with the same company but just have a different role that doesn't require all this travel. And I I got it. I got that job because I wanted to be with my family. I did it for my family. I got that job, but the damage was done. It was too late. 6 months after I got that job where I'm home, um, things just didn't work out between my ex-wife and I, and so we just went our separate ways. So in the effort of trying to make it work, it I was able to get the job to stay in town, but the damage was already done. So anyhow, another story for another time in that area with relationships. But the Sundays during that time in my life, I now see how I was anxious and why I was upset, because that Sunday night I was flying out to be gone from my family for another 5 weeks. And like I said before, I did that for 7 years. So to me, that is the source of this whole dilemma that I've been having with Sunday evenings and what type of mindset to have. I am no longer in a job or a role where I have extensive travel to that degree. And Sunday nights, and I'll be honest with you, I since March of 2020, I've been working from home. And if I'm working from home, why the hell should I get anxious about going to work on Monday? I'm not going to work physically. I'm going to my office in my house on Monday morning, you know? So, Aubrey, what are you complaining about? First world problems. No, I don't want it to sound like first world problems. To me, it's not, okay? It's just a struggle that I'm having because I at least feel that I'm responsible enough to separate, okay, work from home. Even though I'm physically at home, when I'm in the office, when I'm in my office in my house, I'm working. Okay, that's work. Or I'm doing my podcast. When I'm outside of the office, then that's me at home. Okay, I can wash the dishes, walk the dog, read the paper, get a cup of coffee, whatever. Right. So I have that ability to keep things separate. And when 5 o'clock hits, I'm done in this office, and I leave and I go out and get ready for dinner. Um, because of that separation, though, I know I have to be cooped up in this office for some time when Monday comes. And Sunday night, it's on my head. It's in my head. I don't like that struggle. I don't like that struggle. Um, like I said, the title of this conversation, Sunday Mindset. I want to have a healthy mindset. There were times in my life when I did have a healthy mindset, where I treat the upcoming week as a clean slate, right? As opportunities to get closer to my dreams, opportunities to get closer to my goals, opportunities to do things better this coming week than I did the previous week, right? Those are things that I want to have in my head as a healthy outlook, as a healthy mindset on Sunday evening when looking forward to Monday. With that said, I would like to solicit your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the Sunday mindset? Feel free to join if you want to weigh in, or if you choose not to, that's fine too. Just shoot me an email at road to rediscovery podcast at gmail.com. That's road to rediscovery podcast, excuse me, at gmail.com. Or you can visit my website, road2rediscovery.com, road the number two. That one for the website is the number two, road number two, rediscovery.com. And then there's a leave a message section there where you can just share your insights and what you think and how approach Sundays. Um, I'll even read it out in a future episode, and give you a shout out. But I solicit your thoughts. If you have any ideas of how I can keep a consistent positive mindset and not go through this topsy turvy roller coaster of good outlook, bad outlook for the upcoming work week, um, just let me know. Like I said, I don't let it get to the point where it impacts my performance on my job. It never does. Like I said before, once I get started, the week starts and I get started and I hit the ground running, things are okay. They're fine. Uh, it's the mindset leading up to it that I need to get right. I need to get healthy. I need to get consistently positive. So please share your thoughts on that by either joining here in the conversation or, like I said earlier, road to rediscovery podcast at gmail.com. Just shoot me an email. The second thing I wanted your thoughts on, and this is kind of related, but it's kind of related, but I don't know. I just kind of want to see what you think. Is for those of you who read the Bible or follow the Bible, for those of you who, um, um, you know, believe in God or have a God that you believe in, or specifically Bible based. You've heard, as it says in the Bible, on the Sabbath he rested, and so it's been known as Sundays are the day to rest, the day for rest. Um, what are your thoughts on that? Are Sundays a day for rest, or can Sundays be a day to work and to catch up? Um, I kind of wrestle with that as well. Not so much, but I can see where Sunday's a day to rest, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff around the house that can be done while I'm not on my day job on Sunday. There's a lot that I could be doing um, because the new week is starting and I won't be available or have the bandwidth to do those things around the house during the week. So I don't know. I kind of do both on Sunday. I do a lot of catch up work, just like I do on Saturday, whether it's garden work, yard work, landscaping, running errands, uh, grocery shopping, whatever. Doing all that stuff on Saturday and Sunday, because when Monday comes, and I'm just going to be able to focus on my day job, and so um, like I mentioned earlier on Sundays, I break it up and have a big part of the day work and catching up on work um, around the house, and then a little bit of rest, and then 6 p.m. hits, and boom, I'm in mental work mode. So for my job. Hope that makes sense. What are your thoughts? Are Sundays a day of rest for you, or are Sundays a day to work and catch up on things? Or, do you treat it as both? Do you work and rest on Sundays? Um, be I would be very grateful and would really appreciate any input you have, however you want to share it. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I had for this evening with the title Sunday Mindset. And I'll tell you right now, for the past month, I'm such a procrastinator. I hate it. For the past month, I have been thinking about how to approach this topic on wisdom. And I was going to do it on a Sunday evening, a Sunday night. I think I'm about 24 hours late right now, but that was my intent though, was to have the conversation and air it live on a Sunday night. But my head wasn't into it last Sunday, 24 hours ago, because of the whole dilemma and inner struggle that I just shared with you a few minutes ago. you know so I wasn't able to pull it off on Sunday, to have this conversation. Anyhow, that's pretty much all I have. For those of you who tuned in to this conversation, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you tuning in and listening to me ramble. um, I hope some of what I shared is relatable to you and what you've gone through. If you have a suggestion, an answer, a solution to how I can change my Sunday mindset to be consistently positive and to look at it as opportunity, and and you'd like to share, feel free to let me know. Again, my email address is roadtorediscoverypodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow me on the social mediums. On Instagram, I am at AJShark49, at AJShark49. And on Twitter and Facebook, just look for R2R Podcast. That's R, the number 2, R Podcast. Thank y'all so much for listening. Really, really appreciate you. I hope this conversation, this recording, finds you and yours comfortable, at peace, safe, and healthy. Love you all. Until next time, enjoy your evening, everyone. Thank you much. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of The Road to Rediscovery. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at roadtorediscoverypodcast@gmail.com and leave us any questions or comments you may have. The Road to Rediscovery is an AJ Shark production.